Hello, and welcome back to the Witches Brew podcast. I am your host, Amanda. On this podcast, we talk about one witchy topic a week. And this week, we are talking about how to work with Aphrodite. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I feel like most people are very familiar with Aphrodite. She is the Greek goddess of love, beauty, lust, pleasure, passion, anything that really encompasses that. There are a few other things. She's also associated with the Roman goddess Venus, as well as the Egyptian goddesses Hathor and the goddess Isis. We are going to specifically talk about Aphrodite today. I feel like Aphrodite and Venus are pretty close. They're pretty similar. However, again, as stated in last week's episode, I mostly work with Greek gods. So no offense, Venus. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sure we'll talk about you some other time. But let's focus on Aphrodite. So she, depending on what you read. All right, she's either the daughter of Poseidon and Dion or the daughter of Uranus. It depends on which story you read. However, we're not here to talk about her parents. We're really here to talk about her. She is one of the 12 Olympians, and I am not here to talk about the breakdown of all of the Greek gods, because that is a lot. We might do that on another episode. But just know she is one of the Olympians. Some of her symbols, not all, are seashells, roses, doves, sparrows, which is actually one that I didn't realize until I read this list, and a lot of things clicked together for me. She's also known for symbols of swans, myrtle, which is a flowering plant, mirrors, dolphins, as well as some other ones. Like she's associated with myrrh and a couple other things. Her full list of symbols and signs can be found on the internet, right? Those are just what I see as being the most common. And what I found interesting is there was a festival in her honor in Greece every year called Aphrodite, and it was celebrated in midsummer, and it was to honor the goddess Aphrodite. Now, a little bit about her story. She is married to Hephaestus, which I actually do a lot of work with. I did not know that until I read her bio. However, she is known to have a lot of affairs. We're not here to judge. We listen and we don't judge over here. That's just a little bit of her background. I feel like if you are going to work with a god or a deity, you should know at least a little bit about them, right? I have worked with Aphrodite in a variety of different ways. I first started working with Aphrodite, it was for self-love. I'll talk about my journey some other time in depth, but I was like deep in the throes of postpartum, trying to figure out like how best to love this new version of me. And she helped. Why am I tearing up? pregnancy hormones, that's why. But she helped so much on my journey, and I am deeply, deeply, deeply grateful for that. And since then, she has helped me with so many other things that we will get to, I'm sure, in a couple minutes. But she wants me to talk about some of the stuff that I have on the table in front of me before I really start getting into like working with her and why I work with her and what we've been doing together recently. I have a couple shells here. Honestly, if you are looking for Aphrodite themed altars, there are a ton of ideas online. She would love that. I also have ocean jasper. I have flower agate. And I also have rose quartz as well. Honestly, with Aphrodite, anything that is related to love and beauty and self-care is a really great way to start. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I have sea moss as well. But that's a really great way to start working with her. A fantastic way to petition her, to work with her, if she has not already reached out to you, is to buy her flowers. Right before this episode, just as a thank you for the work that we've been doing together recently, but also like as a thank you for doing this episode, and an invitation, I guess, to come closer. Not that Aphrodite has not been close at all. She's been talking to me since 6 o'clock this morning. But I bought her flowers, and they're sitting up on my dining room table. They look beautiful. Really, any flowers will do. Whatever you're feeling pulled to and called to. I will say she's also been using sunflowers with me lately. Again, I'm filming this in early July. There are sunflowers blooming. I know you are listening to this not in early July, is because I am batch recording a bunch of content so I can have it ready to go for later on when I'm starting to go into maternity leave. But if you are feeling pulled to a flower, just go ahead and get that for her. There's no like right or wrong thing here. I guess don't get her thistle. It's probably not a good idea. But like roses, daisies, lilies, sunflowers, whatever you feel is beautiful is perfect. Okay. She's really emphasizing to me right now, she does not want you to stress. She's also saying, like, by no means do you have to do an elaborate altar for her. Do what you can. Do what you can afford. If you have an old collection of seashells, which I feel like quite a few people probably do, those would also be great. Just pick a couple out that you feel are beautiful and offer them to her. And that doesn't mean that you don't get to like enjoy them ever again. It's not like, again, we're offering to these things to spirits, essentially. So it's not like they're going to just snatch them up out of the altar and they're going to disappear forever. No, they might, because spirits are weird. Love you. But they work in weird ways. However, more than likely, she's not going to steal it off of your altar. Okay. I have a list of facts that I wrote down. I'm just kind of letting her guide where she wants this episode to go. So she does want me to talk to you about my journey with her, and everyone's is going to be different, right? Maybe this will give you some ideas on how to work with her and what to do, what to ask. All right, so like I said earlier on in the episode, I originally started off with really just needing to learn how to love this version of me because it was so vastly different than anything I had experienced before. So when I started working with her, I was doing so many like luxurious baths, bath salts with a bath bomb, fancy soaps, face masks, body scrubs, and she would come in pretty often and tell me things like self-care is love, self-love is love, right? And she'd be like, that is why I'm here, is to help you with that. Girl, you make me cry. But yeah, immensely grateful for that work that I did with her. Honestly, it's because of that work that I did with her, I started implementing just little tiny tweaks in my daily routine to add more time for self-care. And again, I started off as one or two things. It started off as a facial cleanser, and then it moved to different lotions, doing an eye mask more frequently. All right. It's not like I never did those things. And now it also includes things like body scrub, body oils, different hair treatments. So yeah, my work with her has definitely evolved. Let's try this again. My phone stopped recording the first time because it said my storage was full. Then I tried recording it again. It said my storage was full. Okay. So when I first started working with Aphrodite, as I mentioned before, it was really to focus on self-care and loving this new version of myself. I have still a really hard time asking to take time for myself. However, in my work with Aphrodite, I've seen the importance of doing so and the importance of really taking that time. Now, I was a little cautious to work with her because I have heard stories of other people who have started working with her and their relationships kind of disintegrated. And ultimately, right, that ended up being for that person's best good. And they would even say that themselves. However, it still makes you a little wary. So if you are feeling that way, especially after hearing her story with Hephaestus, I totally understand. All right. Honestly, the work that I have done with Aphrodite has been just like monumental for my life. And for like really accepting myself as I am. Last November, I'm 32 years old now, so 31 at the time, and I, for the first time ever, and honestly, my mom doesn't even know about this. Most people don't even know about this, but sure, I'll just tell the internet full of strangers. But I realized that I'm actually bisexual, and it helped so much other stuff click into place for me. And I've been doing a lot of work with Aphrodite and Hermes to like communicate with my husband and talk to my husband about this, and he's been really great, like really great. And it's actually through the work that I've been doing with her has made my marriage just infinitely better. I've also been working with her, really starting a couple days ago, with glamour magic and beauty magic and things like that, and really infusing intention into the oils that I was talking about, where I'm like the shimmery skin oils that are honestly doing wonders for my skin. But also I'm infusing them with intention, working with Aphrodite, which has been really fun. I've actually really, really enjoyed it. She's helped open me up to a lot of things. She's helped me a lot on my self-care and my self-love journey. I get it if you are still hesitant to work with her. However, my experience has truly been very beautiful, and I'm very appreciative. I'm not going to cry. So, different ways that you can work with Aphrodite. All right, let's talk about that. Obviously, any sort of love spell, any sort of love magic, Aphrodite is going to be great for it. However, also self-love and self-care, and loving yourself through the changes that are happening in your life. She's actually been working with me on creating love spells, creating self-love spells, creating spells for self-confidence. Those are coming. They're not finished yet. But self-confidence is a great one too to work with her, because Aphrodite oozes self-confidence. Any sort of beauty or glamour magic, work with her, because she is truly fantastic. I charmed a couple of my oils last night, and I was in Lowe's this morning doing completely unrelated errands. My husband sent me to go get a very specific like cleaning solution from Lowe's, and people kept turning their heads and looking at me, and I was very confused, until I remembered that I had charmed some of my body oil that I put on last night, to receive that kind of reaction, just because I wanted to see what would happen. And it delivered. Okay, what else? Makeup. I've talked about actually charming my makeup before. Anything like that, work with her. Hair care, skin care, charming, any of that stuff, any like physical outside appearance stuff, work with her. She like truly phenomenal. Friendships as well, because yes, love can be between two people in romantic love, but it can also be between people on a friendship level too. Again, if you're going to do that, you probably want to specify that this is for friendship reasons, or else things can get messy really quickly. I guess signs, she wants me to talk about signs to know that she is reaching out to you. For some of you, there may be more that are not on this list. Right off the bat, dolphins, turtles, roses, sparrows, doves. white butterflies. Honestly, just feeling drawn to the ocean, feeling drawn to sirens, like not like police siren, but like the sirens in the ocean that like lure men to their deaths. Mermaids, feeling really drawn to those, feeling really drawn to the ocean or the sea or just water in general, or feeling drawn to crystals like ocean jasper or self-love crystals like rose quartz or flower agate, mirrors, and strawberries as well, which is crazy because I actually had a peanut butter and strawberry jelly sandwich. I was craving one of those earlier today. Just a message from her. She says, listen to your heart and you will find me there. She's also saying, like the waves of an ocean, let her love wash over you. She wants to acknowledge like your fear and your trepidation are valid. And she does not want to discount that. However, ultimately, she is here because she wants to help. She wants to love you and also show you ways in which you can be loved in return. She's saying you don't have to just settle for how things are now, because you are worthy of so much more love and acceptance than what you are currently experiencing. She's also saying she has immense gifts that she can help you with and that she wants to help you with. If you are worried or nervous, she's saying start with something small. Ask her to send you a butterfly. Ask her to send you a sparrow or your whatever your heart desires, right? A rose maybe. And know that when it shows up, it's from her. So what she doesn't want you to do is to ask for a sign, ask her to send you something, and then she does, and then you say, oh, well, I don't think that's good enough. No, the first time that it's from her.